Alright, so we're going to work on a bread cutter choke off of a Kimura setup. This is something that a lot of the students here, competitors here, have been able to hit in competition quite a bit. It's a pretty sneaky little setup, and it's pretty hard to stop because they can't really see what you're doing once you get them kind of tangled up with their own lapel. So we're going to set this up the exact same way we would set up our Kimura. So I have side control here. My partner is hugged over the top of my back with this hand, okay? This is a mistake. He's gonna let me start to isolate this arm. The first thing that I want to do is I want to switch my arm position. So I'm gonna go this arm over the top and this arm blocking the hip, okay? From here, I like to grab my own lapel, but that's preferential. Once I have his hips blocked here, I don't have to worry about him coming back and facing me too much. So my next job is to pummel my knee over the top of his inside shoulder. So if I do a good job and get this up high, it's not too hard for me to just switch my hips, bring my knee up and over, and staple his arm to the ground. So that's the first knee pummel. Now I'm going to windshield wiper my feet and switch. So I switch my feet like this and staple over the top of his arm. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to step over my partner's head. I'm going to start to use that step, my grip on his shoulder, and the push of my foot on the floor to pull him up onto his side. Here. Now, I'm going to start to tie up his hand. Almost everybody, when you get to this position, is going to grab onto something here, and that's totally fine. I'm still going to cover his wrist with my outside hand and get to our Kimura trap here. Now, if I want to try and fight the grip and break it off and put his hand behind his back and finish the Kimura, I can. Sometimes maybe I can't get this grip to break. I didn't do a great job of isolating my hand inside of his hand, but what I can do is start to tie him up here. So I'm going to take my hand that's gripping his wrist. I'm going to grab some material. Anything below his belt is good. Pants is ideal. Skirt of the gi is fine. Belt is fine as well. As long as it's below his belt line, all this fabric down here. I pull that out. I'm going to feed it to this hand, palm up, and lock him into place. Now if he tries to pull this arm out, it's stuck. All right, to attack the bread cutter from here, all I have to do is slide my hand inside of my leg and start to feel for his neck. Once I make a grip on the inside of his collar with my thumb, I'm going to start to step back over his head, pull him back flat with all of my grips, put my elbow on the floor. Once we get here, I can walk towards his head, start to open up until we finish the strike. Once again, we're in side control. Feel our partner hug our back. I'm going to swim over the top of his head, grab his shoulder, grab my lapel, block his hips. From here, I need to crush down his frame that he might be trying to build on this side. So I use my hips to go down, my knee comes in, up, and over his arm. My hand is still down here by his hip. I windshield wiper my feet, so I replace the staple. And I'm going to step over the head, pull him up onto his side, and start to attach to his wrist. I make my figure 4 grip, and here's where I can decide whether I want to try to fight this grip or whether I want to try to attack something different. I make my right hand, grab some material below his belt, and tie his wrist up. I'm going to bring this hand in between my legs, lean myself towards his hips, step back, step down, switch my grip.